alaikum. This is Sister Diana. Um, we asked on our Facebook group what technique that you all wanted to learn, and your response was that you wanted to learn how to do set-in sleeves. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to do set-in sleeves. This is a finished product of how a proper set-in sleeve should look. There should be no puckers. The cap of the sleeve should roll nicely from the shoulder down to the bottom of the sleeve. And today I'm going to show you a few techniques to make sure that your sleeve cap looks like this with no puckers, and your sleeve is supported at the hem and at the sleeve cap so that your finished product can look professional. One of the most important things in making sure that your finished sleeve looks tailored and professional is to support those parts of the sleeve that get the most wear and tear. So at the hem, you have to interface all hems, whether it's the bottom of your jacket or the sleeve, to make sure that the finished edge, once you hem it, is supported and it's crisp and it looks tailored. And also, I've decided to interface the cap of the sleeve because this particular fabric is very loosely woven, and so you want to add some support to your sleeve just in the cap so that the sleeve cap rolls nicely and it's supported. One of the most important things to do is to run 2 rows of base stitching from notch all across the arm side to the other notch at a basting stitch at 6/8 of an inch and a 1/2 an inch. So I'll do that. There's the first one at 6/8 of an inch, and my next one will be at a 1/2 an inch. And you generally have guidelines on your machine of where to go. So then now you have your 2 rows of base stitching. Notice that they're not necessarily perfectly straight, but you have your 2 rows of base stitching, and that's what you're going to draw up to now shrink the sleeve. So I'll sew the sleeve together. And whether you choose to finish this with a serger, that's fine. If it's loosely woven and unraveling like this, I'll probably serge this. If it's not loosely woven, if it's not raveling, and if I'm going to line it, I won't serge it because serging just kind of adds. Okay, so after you sew the sleeve and you either press your seam allowances to one side or you press them open, whatever choice you make, then you take those original basting stitches, there's 2, you take it from the bobbin thread and you begin to pull up the bobbin thread and start to ease the cap of your sleeve so it's starting to get smaller. You do a little bit from one side, and then you take the other ones and you do a little bit from the other side, and then you'll see that your sleeve starts to take shape. And you kind of just ease it around and you evenly distribute it. So now you can see how the sleeve is going to fit into your jacket. And so if you want to, you can go to your sleeve board if you would like, and then you put the cap of the sleeve, because you don't want to crush this roll, and you just might want to steam some of this out. Just go around and steam some of it out if you'd like, but you don't necessarily have to. But you do need those 2 rows of basting stitches. And so now it's ready. As you can see, that fits under the, it will fit in your jacket. So I'm going to take the jacket, and this is my back over here. So let's see, it'll be this sleeve. Here's the base of your jacket, and what you're going to do is you're going to match the shoulder notch to the shoulder seam of the jacket and place a pin there. And then you're going to match the underseams of the jacket and of the sleeve. Those are the underarm seams, and then you're going to place a pin there. And now you'll see that you might need to ease it up a little bit, but now this is going to fit nicely without any puckers. You're going to match up your double notch, and here's your other notch, and so whatever excess you have, you just draw those strings up. So I'm going to demonstrate this in just a second. Okay, so this is what the jacket will begin to look like after you set your sleeve in. It's all pinned. It's nice and smooth. I only have one done, and we'll see what it looks like after I sew this. So I've matched my shoulder seam, I've matched my underarm seam, I've matched my notches, and it's pretty smooth. You can start sewing anywhere you really want to on the sleeve. It doesn't matter how much pins you use. The more pins, sometimes the better, that you can manipulate the fabric and hold it. So don't worry about how many pins you have to use. So I'll sew this, and as you're sewing, you want to make sure that you don't get any fabric caught underneath, and you want to go around the edge. Of course, take your pins out, but most of us know that a lot of times we don't until we break a needle, and then we get all upset. I'm one of those ones who don't take pins out, but I am taking them out for your sake today, for this video. But just make sure that you're not getting any puckers. Make sure that your fabric is staying clear underneath here, and then you don't have any puckers as you're sewing. And you just continue to turn your fabric, and you can feel puckers, and you just keep that fabric away on the bottom. A lot of times that interfacing helps. And just go back to your original stitching, and what you'll do after that first stitching is you're going to go back and stitch again 1/8 of an inch into the seam allowance. So you're going to have 2 rows of stitching, because we know sleeves get a lot of stress. And then once you turn the jacket over and you make sure that it has no puckers, you're going to take that, if you can see that row of basting stitching, you're going to take that out because you can see it. So I'm going to grab that thread, and I'm going to take that out. Take that whole row of basting stitching out, and then you have your finished, oh, here's some more right here. I can't see it. Yeah, there it is. So there you have your finished sleeve with no puckers, aside from these and the sleeve cap should have this little roll right here. That's a perfect sleeve cap, just like that. You put your shoulder pads in for a tailored jacket, and it supports the weight You can put sleeve heads, and I'll demonstrate how to do a sleeve head another day, but it should roll like that over your shoulder. And if you press it, you should press it from the inside. You don't want to flatten the cap like that. You don't want to flatten it, so you'll press it from the inside and just press in the seam allowances. So on the top there, you'll just press in the seam allowances like that. You don't want to flatten the cap because it is supposed to have a nice roll that's over your shoulder. So that is the demonstration of how to do a set and sleeve. Then I'll do the other sleeve. I'll finish the rest of the construction of my jacket, and then I'll have a garment to wear. So good luck, and if you have any questions, just hit me on Facebook.